Okay, so let's start the fresh chapter, that is the law of motion. So before that, we should overview whatever we have done so far. So in case of motion, when we talk about the kinematics, there we talk that this is the motion where we are not bothering about the cause behind that motion, and in that motion we have talked about just rest, and in motion, rest means its position is unchanged. If a body is at rest, means its position will be unchanged with time, and in the motion, position will be changed, is changed with time. And in this motion, we have defined that velocity. This is just the change in, it's a displacement with the time, and then we also defined that acceleration. So when this velocity is changed with time, then that object is acceleration. And these two are the vector quantities. So its velocity will be maybe either positive, negative, zero. Its velocity may be either positive, negative, and zero. And this velocity, this is further classified into two parts. This is the average velocity, and next is the instantaneous velocity. This is instantaneous velocity. So its a scalar form is known as speed. So this velocity is the vector form, and also this acceleration is classified as average acceleration. Average acceleration, and this is also known as instantaneous. So in the calculation part, we just take that average of the different acceleration, and here we use the derivative differentiation of that parameter to form this instantaneous acceleration. So this is acceleration. Then we have different equations of motion, and that the motion is in straight line. Then this is that acceleration. This is velocity, and also we have we have considered the effect of gravity in the motion. So if this motion is along this, then this is the simple linear motion on the plane, and this is, if this motion in this direction or in this direction, then that the effect of gravity is considered. And we have different three types of general equations of motion for this also, and this also. Then we talk about that motion in a plane, and there we have classified that motion in two parts, that the motion in a plane. So motion in a plane, so we have this this is the projectile motion. I talked about that projectile motion, where this is the two-dimensional motion. We take that x and y components of this motion, and we have derived a different formula for the time of flight, to maximum height attained of that projectile motion, as well as the total range covered. And then we have another, that is the circular motion. So in this motion, that path is traveled in circular form, and this is in the projectile form. So that that parabolic path is covered in projectile motion. We have derived that equations of motion also. So this circle, in the circular motion, we have a different types of acceleration, that average acceleration and that tangential acceleration, centripetal acceleration. So different acceleration we have defined in the circular motion. And also this velocity, it is converted in its angular form, and the displacement is in angular displacement, that in the angular form. So this angular displacement, and that angular velocity. So we have so when this linear form is converted into angular form, then we have this circular motion type phenomenon, the two-dimensional motion there. So these are just the overview of different motion. And again, we also have these equations of motion in its circular form. So we have these equations of motion, that v is equivalent to u plus at, and that displacement s is equivalent to ut plus half at square, and that v square is equivalent to u square plus 2s. These are three equations of motion. When we replace this a with z, then this is that motion under the effect of gravity. And when we replace this v and u in terms of omega and omega naught at that angular velocity, and this displacement, this s, it is that angular displacement theta, then we will have that equation in its angular form. So these are the general overview on the motion, and we are not thinking about the cause behind this motion. Now in this particular unit, we will talk about that causes behind this motion, and obviously if this is that object and its velocity is 0, its velocity is 0, means this is at rest, or this is also known as the state of rest. At that time, objects were classified in terms of this position and the motion. So this is that object which is at the state of rest. And if this object, this is moving with the constant velocity, which is constant, then this is state of motion. This is state of motion. So if one factor which is known as force is absent, there is no force. There is no force. So what will happen if this object that is basically initially at rest, that object will be at rest. There will be no change in its position. This is fixed. And also, if that object is moving with constant velocity, initially that object is moving with constant velocity, and if there is no force applied, then that object will be remain in the state of that motion with constant velocity. Means this is a factor which can change the state. If that object is at rest, if we apply the force, its position, its state will be changed. Means that that object starts moving. If we apply this force in this case, when that object is moving with the constant velocity, its speed or velocity will be changed. If it is moving with that v is equal to 40 km per hour, this is the constant velocity. When we apply force, its velocity may be changed to 50 km per hour, or it may also change to 30 km per hour. The velocity may be reduced or may be increased depending on the direction of force. So first of all, we have to define this force. So force is what? This is a factor. The force is a factor which can change the state of motion or state of rest, which can change or which can try to change or tends to change. So in phrase form, I should write the definition of force. So force, this is a cause or factor which changes or tends to change the state of object or body, the state of object or body. If it is in rest, it can start moving, or if it is in motion with constant velocity, constant velocity, it can, its velocity may be reduced, will be reduced or increased. So the forces of gas are a factor which can change the state of object. If that object is at rest, that object can start moving, and if that is moving with constant velocity, then its velocity can be increased or decreased, will be increased or decreased. And one, you should also write the example. One should also add another line. This also can, the force also can change the direction. Okay, so this is the force which changes the state of object. If that is at rest, then this can start moving, or when it is in moving, then its velocity will be changed, either increased or decreased. And also one more factor is here, it can also change the direction, because this force is a vector quantity. So when we talk about that, all these in the vector form, the position, that displacement, we are changing the displacement, vector form, so it can also change the direction of velocity also. Okay, so we have in the first chapter we have discussed about the different types of force. So let's have a look on so the forces are classified as one, we have conservative and non-conservative. And second is the central force. This is one way of classification, central force. So what is the conservative or non-conservative force? Conservative force is conservative means it depends on path. If the path is dependent, then that is the conservative force, and if it is independent of path, it is non-conservative force. And the central force, if its direction is towards the center or any point, then that is known as the central force. So this is the broad classification of force, conservative and non-conservative. If it is path dependent, then this is conservative. It is path independent, this is ulta ho gaya. So if this is independent path, and if it depends on path, then this is non-conservative. And then we have further classified another classification of forces. There are four types of forces. One is gravitational. Second one is electromagnetic. Third is strong nuclear force. And next one is the weak nuclear force. So this gravitational force F is directly proportional to F2, Fg is directly proportional to mass multiplication of mass. If we have two bodies, these are two bodies, the mass is m1 and this is m2, and its distance is the distance between the center of these two body. This is r. Then this is proportional to the multiplication of its mass m1 and m2, and inversely proportional to r square. This r square gives this force as this force follows that inverse law, inverse square law. This is the central one, and this is also the very big force. So this is very big force, as well as this is conservative and central. So here we use one gravitational constant, so one can write this Fz. This is gravitational constant m1, m2 by r square. So that electricity force, it depends on the charge. If we have two charge bodies, that the charge is q1 and q2, and the distance is still r, then this Fe, it is proportional to the multiplication of this charge q1 q2 and with this the square of r with another constant, that is 1/4 pi epsilon naught. So this is the formula for electromagnetic force and electrostatic force especially. So this Fa is equivalent to 1/4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 r square. So when we compare this electrostatic force with this gravitational force, this Fe, it is 10 to the power 36 times Fz. This is the stronger force, not the strongest. This is stronger than 10 to the power 36. Yeah. So 10 to the power 36 times that gravitational force. This is also a central force as well as conservative. It also this force also follows that inverse square law, because this is written in terms of 1/r square. So this is the central as well as conservative force. Now is the nuclear force. This is in between nuclear particle like proton, neutron. These are the long ranged force. This is long ranged force, but this nuclear force, this is short ranged force. This gravitational force is always attractive. This is attractive as well as repulsive. This is always attractive. This is attractive as well as repulsive, depending on the nature of charges. If the charges are opposite, then attractive, and the same, the repulsive. Strongest, this force is attractive if the distance is r is less than 10 to the power minus 15 meter. That is short range. This is also known as 1 Fermi. This is 1 Fermi. So if it is about if it is ranged up to 10 to the minus 15 meter, and this will be attractive if this range is r is in between 0.5 to 1 Fermi. If the distance between two protons, two neutrons, or one proton and one neutron, this is in between 0.5 to 1 Fermi, then the force is attractive. If it's less than 10 less than 0.5, then it is repulsive. If this r is less than 0.5 Fermi, then it is repulsive. This nuclear force is strong nuclear force is non-conservative. It's not non-conservative as well as non-central. It's not a central force. 15 meter. Then that force is weak nuclear force, and it's this F nuclear. It is equivalent to 10 to the power 38 times Fg. It's 10 to the power 38 times Fg. And when this in this weak force, it is arranged beyond this 10 to the minus 15 meter. This is F weak force. This is 10 to the power 25 times Fg. So Fg, that gravitational force, is the weakest one, and that nuclear force, strong nuclear force, is the strongest one. So if we compare this Fg with this with Fe, this is in this order, F nuclear Fn. I think it is Fn. So this is 1 ratio 10 to the power 25. This is ratio 10 to the power 36. This is 10 to the power 38. So in this, these are the comparison between different forces. So these are the overview on different types of force, conservative, non-conservative, as well as this gravitational, electromagnetic or electrostatic force, as well as strong nuclear force, and this weak nuclear force. These are the short range force with compared to this gravitational as well as electromagnetic, and these two are long range force. These are central and conservative. These two are central and conservative. This is non-central, non-conservative, and this is that comparison, mutual comparison between different forces. So Fg, and this 1 ratio 10 to the power 25, ratio 10 to the 36, ratio 10 to the 38. So what we can say, if this is that body, again I am repeating the same point, and its velocity v is equal to 0, and if there is no force, the velocity will be still v is equal to 0. And if this body is moving with constant velocity, and still that force is equal to 0, then this velocity will be constant. There will be no change in its velocity, or one can say that body will be at resting state, and that motion will be state. So these are the terms related to force, and by virtue of which this is the case. This is actually the inherent property of that body. If that body is at rest, and if there is no force applied, that body will be remains at rest. If that body is in motion, it's continuing moving in absence of the force, F is equal to 0. Then by virtue of which this particular condition is as a resulted, then this property, that inherent property, is known as inertia. So in this chapter, another physical parameter, another physical property is introduced, that is the inertia and law of inertia. So first of all, we have to define what is inertia. This is that inherent internal property, specific characteristic property, by virtue of which that object, if that is at rest, that will remain at the rest if there is no force. By virtue of which, if that body it is in moving with constant velocity, if that body is in motion, then obviously that body will remain in motion with constant velocity if there is no force applied. So that inherent property is known as inertia. So let's write the definition of inertia. So this inertia, first part is this is the inherent property of object, property of body. This is internal property of it. There is no outer effect. So this is the inherent, जिसका aspect characteristic property of body by virtue of which that object
by
object
by virtue.
virtue virtue of which that object opposes the change in its initial state. In absence of any external force. Any external force. You can use a round sentence. There's no problem. This sentence is not in between that inverted comma. So you can change. You can use your own sentence. Now let us try to think about this sentence. This is the inherent property of a body by virtue of which that object opposes the change in its initial state. Initial state means if that body is at rest, that body will be remain in rest. If that body is in motion, obviously that will be in motion in absence of any external force. If there is no external force applied, then that body will be at rest. If it is already at rest, if that body is in motion, that will be already in the motion. This is actually that we can add some more lines here. So that is in absence of any external force, the body initially at rest, will remain at rest until any external force is applied. जब तक उसमें किसी प्रकार कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं किया जाएगा, बॉडी रेस्ट में रहेगा. तो जिस प्रॉपर्टी की वजह से, जिन इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी की वजह से ऐसा होता है, दैट इज नोन एज इनर्शिया. एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, ये ऑब्जेक्ट रखा हुआ है, बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स इनर्शिया. And this is also known as inertia of rest. Okay, so in absence of any external force, when we do not apply any external force, then that body will be at rest, if initially at rest. So this is known as the inertia of rest. Second, you can write, one can also write, in absence of any external force, external force, the body initially moving with constant velocity, continuously moves with same velocity So the body initially at rest remains at rest until any external force is applied, and in absence of any external force, any body which is moving with constant velocity continuously moves with constant velocity, and this is known as inertia of motion. अच्छा इनर्शिया तुम लोगों ने 9th में किया है गुड okay so we can also include the direction so third type will be the inertia of direction if there will be no change in the direction if any external force is until any external force is applied the body moves in the same direction direction of moving body will be same until any external force is applied. This is the inertia of direction. Inertia, it is classified into three parts. One is inertia of rest, and second one is inertia of motion, and third is inertia of direction. So we have three types of inertia one can say. So if that object is at rest, this V is 0, remains at 0 until external force is applied. If this V it is constant, its motion will be continuously constant until any external force is applied. And here this V in the same direction. Even that in some books this can be it is omitted because if this velocity is constant means its magnitude as well as the direction is constant. So if the velocity is constant means its magnitude as well as direction is constant. So it can be omitted, but if you are including here, so it's okay. So V is in the same direction, remains with the same direction. So this is the inertia of direction. And then एक एक एग्जांपल देते जाओ चलिए एक एक दो दो एग्जांपल देते जाओ पहले रेस्ट का सो वन बस बेसिकली व्हेन बस आर द हॉर्स एनी व्हीकल इट इज एट रेस्ट सडनली स्टार्ट्स मूविंग तो जितने भी उसमें पैसेंजर्स होते हैं पैसेंजर्स जो है वो पीछे की तरफ ऐसे झुक जाते हैं मतलब बॉडी का जो पार्ट है इनर्शियली एट रेस्ट है अचानक सडनली अगर आप उसको मोशन में लिए हैं तो बॉडी का अपर पार्ट जो है वो मोशन में आ जाता है लेकिन लोअर पार्ट जो है स्टिल इट रेस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इनर्शिया इसलिए वो पीछे की तरफ झुक जाता है और एक फ्रूट्स वगैरह का डस्ट वगैरह क्लीनिंग का है कालीन से डस्ट अगर ये करना है तो कालीन लिए और उसको 2 डंडे लगाए है ना तो डंडे से मारने से कालीन तो मोशन में आ जाता है लेकिन वो जो डस्ट पार्टिकल्स है वो मोशन में आना भूल जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ इनर्शिया वो नीचे गिर जाता है फ्रूट्स वगैरह के बारे में ये रहता है पेड़ को हिलाओगे पत्ते गिर जाते हैं फल जो है पके हुए फल गिर जाते हैं उसका भी रीजन वही दिया जाता है भाई वो तो रेस्ट में है रेस्ट ऑफ इनर्शिया अचानक उसको तुमने हिलाया डिस्टर्ब किया तो तो पूरा वो तो हिल का वो तो मोशन में आ गया, लेकिन फ्रूट जो है वो अनजान है बेचारा, वो मोशन में उसके साथ नहीं आ पाता है, तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इनर्शिया ऑफ रेस्ट है ना, वो नीचे नीचे गिर जाता है। वैसे ही अगर ऑब्जेक्ट ऑलरेडी मोशन में है सडनली अगर कोई ब्रेक लगाया जाता है तो सामने की तरफ झुक जाता है, तो ये इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन के इसमें रहता है। और अचानक बाहर से राइडिंग हो गई, बहुत सारे इसमें साउथ इंडियन मूवीज में दिखाते हैं, गाड़ी चल रही है, अचानक ब्रेक लगा दिया तो कांच फोड़ करके बाहर निकल गया। हाँ
नहीं गाड़ी उड़ जाते हैं,
नहीं गाड़ी उड़ जाता है दैट इज, लेकिन कांच फोड़ के बाहर निकल जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन। क्योंकि वो गाड़ी तो रुक गया, लेकिन जो पर्सन है वो ऑलरेडी मोशन में है, तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मोशन वो आगे निकल लेता है। इवन जैसे बहुत सारे ये रहता है ना, बस में भरी हुई बस है, बीच में भी ऐसे खड़ा कर दिए हैं, हाँ अचानक ब्रेक लगाते हैं, तो ब्रेक लगाते हैं सब एक दूसरे को ऐसे धक्का मारते हुए आगे बढ़ते हैं, और सबके सब पीछे मुड़ करके देखते हैं साला पीछे वाला धक्का मार रहा है करके, लेकिन वो पीछे वाला धक्का नहीं मारता है, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मोशन। लेकिन सबके सब पीछे वाले को घूर के देखते हैं कि साला धक्का मार रहा है। ये मोशन ये इनर्शिया का ही है। सो दीज आर द इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन। इसमें तो डायरेक्शन की बात है, अगर आप सर्कुलर मोशन पे ये है, अचानक गाड़ी जा रही है और अगर कोई टर्न लिया, सडन टर्न अगर कोई लिए, तो बाहर की तरफ जो फोर्स लगता है फ्रॉम द सेंटर, दैट इज द इनर्शिया बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इनर्शिया ऑफ डायरेक्शन। या अगर घोड़े को अगर कोई कुत्ता अगर कोई दौड़ा रहा है, तो वो इस तरह से बेंड होते हुए अगर कोई सामने वाला ऐसा रोटेट होते हुए अगर कोई दौड़ रहा है, तो पीछे वाला उसको ट्रेस नहीं कर पाता है ना। तो जैसे चोर लोग को भी पुलिस पीछा कर रहा है बाइक में, गाड़ी में, हाँ, तो अगर स्ट्रेट लाइन अगर कोई करे तो प्रॉब्लम, अगर वो इस तरह से रोटेट हो करके अगर कोई करे, हाँ, तो हर रोटेशन में उसके बॉडी में इनर्शिया लगेगा, हाँ हाँ, वो हिल जाएगा, वो इनर्शिया लगेगा, और वो उस ढंग से वो रोटेट, क्योंकि सामने वाला तो अपने आप को फिक्स करके रखा, उनको मालूम है वो क्या कर रहा है, हाँ, लेकिन पीछे वाला सडनली अपने आप को चेंज करना चाहेगा, तो जब कभी भी ऐसा सडन मोशन की बात आएगी, डायरेक्शन चेंज होगा, है ना, तो दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इनर्शिया ऑफ डायरेक्शन। ओके, सो तुम लोग अपने हिसाब से और कुछ एग्जांपल्स इसमें ऐड करके रखना, तो कंप्लीट नोट्स के फॉर्म में इसको रखो, अच्छा चैप्टर है। सो लॉ ऑफ मोशन तो यहीं से स्टार्ट होता है। ओके, सो दिस इज मोर देन इनफ फॉर टुडेज क्लास।